2, 3.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last day of the Alternate Future Summit. So today it's the conference day. We'll have 3 different slots during the whole day. We'll start now with the academia slot. We will listen to people from the education field. So for now, we'll be speaking for the next 2 hours in education slots. Then we'll move to corporate in the afternoon. So we'll have a break for lunch. And at 2 p.m. Portugal time, we'll come back for corporate. And we'll wrap the day with ecosystems. And on ecosystems, we'll have panels with people coming from very different parts of the world and from very different fields of ecosystems. So today, we'll start with education. We have some people here in the room with us to tell you a little bit about modern education and some challenges and solutions that they have for the future of education. Then corporate, then ecosystems. We'll make an introduction at that time as well. And Maria will let you know a little bit more about the summit, and then we are ready to begin the day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria, and I will let you know a little bit of the Alternate Future Summit, how it has been, the preparation for it, and also some initiatives that we have been having before the conference happening and the showcases that already happened for the last few days. So, as you, I don't know if you all know, but we run the hackathon, the ALT+F hackathon, in which the aim was to develop solutions to improve the future of work. So we accepted solutions in the future of work, education, and social impact, since they're all connect with each other. We had 7 different categories, and today, in between the conversations, the talks, and the panels, we will announce the winners. And why? Because we want to emphasize what people are already doing to have a good impact, and also restructuring the whole system for better, of course. So those people are the ones who we invited. But at the same time, we also know that there's a need for new solutions, for people to be even more involved, for the youth to be involved. So that's why we run the hackathon, and that's why we're also gonna emphasize their solutions and connect it. So connect the present with the future, hopefully. Just also a little other addresses. So this wouldn't be possible without one of the main sponsors we have, which is Ocean Protocol, which is also the future based on blockchain as well. I invited you to go check the showcases, okay?
Actually, in the afternoon, we'll have someone from Ocean in one of the panels on ecosystems.
In the lunchtime.
Yeah.
They can go. Okay. Also, People Tree Group, we also had a really good showcase. We will have people also present from People Tree Group, who are innovating in people development field for many years. And of course, our dear DeepSea Accelerator, which is a program we are part of with this year. And they really helped us structure and ideate the whole summit and also the next events, hopefully. So just a big thanks for all of these people. And also you can see on the top our sponsors, our community partners. So basically all the people who are involved with us and want to make this happen. This is the introduction, so just wanted to give the word to Ekaterina, because she will introduce and open up the education slot by giving a talk about what is more important, ed or tech. So she will give this introduction. Thank you, Ekaterina. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Yes, indeed, my name is Ekaterina Tsaranok, and I represent Modern Education and Research Institute. So this is the organization based in Brussels. What we do, we research innovation in education and provide training, lectures, seminars, conferences, and other opportunities for professional communities, for professors of universities. We also help our member universities with their international relations, and we represent 2 main Kazakhstan universities in the European Union. By the way, those universities are the media partners of this current summit. It's Gumilev Eurasian National University and Central Kazakhstan Academy. So after this very short introduction, I switch to a very important question. What is more important ed or tech? Please allow me a second to share my screen, to share the slides, and we go on. So, you can ask for information if the slides are shared.
Yes,
Thank you very much. So, the question, what is more important, ed or tech? To be honest, I do not know the answer to this question. And now when I kill the intrigue, I will tell you guys a cheesy joke to explain why I think it is still important to talk about this topic. Imagine during a business meeting some time ago, someone asked me, what is your background? And I started talking about my education. However, it turned out that the person was just asking about what was behind me on our Zoom call. Guys, our life is changing. There is a very famous, in the Russian part of the world, neuroscientist. Her name is Tatiana Chernigovskaya. So in her interviews, she identifies the transformation that our society is undergoing as a change of civilization. And a new civilization needs a new education. Of course, we do not know yet what this new education will be, but what we know for sure is that it will be technology enhanced. I base my arguments for this intervention, for my speech, mainly on 3 reports. The first report is 10 charts to explain the global education technology market prepared by Holon. Then perspectives on the future of higher education to 2050 prepared by UNESCO, and innovating pedagogy 2021 prepared by Open University in London. And as you see, all those reports are quite recent. Education is one of the world's single largest industries, making up more than 6% of GDP. And Holon, who prepared this chart, forecasts that total global expenditure from governments, companies, consumers together will reach $7.3 trillion US dollars by 2025. However, education is starved of capital compared with other sectors, and you see it in this chart. Innovation requires capital. Governments are struggling to fund education at the necessary level to keep up with all those innovations that are going on. Education institutions, of course, they adjust, they cut costs, they embark on digital transformation. However, public-private partnerships are critical to support future growth, innovation, and access to education. Interestingly enough, less than 4% of overall expenditure in education is allocated to digital. And here I mean hardware, software, and other technology-enabled services. It presents a serious challenge because the knowledge economy that we are transforming to and the future skills require massive digital transformation. And of course, like during COVID-19, we saw some acceleration, but still we are far, far to go. Good news here is that the trend is positive. And Holon predicts an upswing of spending on digital infrastructure in education over the next few years, and an even much greater spending over the long term in new digital models. We find the confirmation to this hypothesis in the following slide that you see now, in the following chart that you see on your screens. In 2015, there were 10 listed education companies with market capitalization of more than $1 billion US. However, in 2018, there were already 30 companies like this, and in 2020, 40 companies, and Holon expects 100 plus companies with a market capitalization of more than 1 billion by 2025. Let's see what kind of technology will hit the stride by 2025. No, first of all, it is artificial reality, it's virtual reality, artificial intelligence. They are becoming increasingly integrated into core teaching and learning processes. And while virtual reality and simulated training is already kind of like mainstream in adult education and professional training, professional upskilling, we also see greater usage of these technologies in formal education sector. And the last chart I would like to share with you shows that China is the largest education market in the world by far. The country makes up over 60% of all global venture capital investment in education, where the US makes 15%, India 14%, and Europe only 5%. This is the data for 2020. However, it's worth looking at the venture capital investment in India in tech. So we mentioned that it's just 14%. It's not such a big amount as in China, for example. However, if you look closely at the chart, you see that it grew almost 4 times since 2018. So our main problem, or I would say one of the main problems that would be more correct to further introducing technology into education is that technology kind of like takes the in-person interaction out of the educational process. The fathers of contemporary educational philosophy, John Dewey and James Washington Carver, defined education as understanding human relationships. While high-level technologies have already achieved a certain level of effectively communicating human feelings and they continue to evolve, it becomes ever more important to keep humanness, common good, at the core of integrating technology into education. In its report, Perspectives on the Future of Higher Education to 2050, UNESCO cites a group of researchers who introduce a notion of education with a soul. It suggests that values such as respect, empathy, equality, inclusiveness, solidarity should be at the core of future higher education. And speaking of tech, we should not forget that education should help students become better citizens by being aware of their civic and environmental responsibilities. And I think that there is a certain missing middle here, which is a strong value system that balances internal and external values inside and outside of the classroom. We often talk about the ever-changing roles of teachers in the digital era. Yesterday, I gave a training to professors, members of Modern Education and Research Institute, and I asked them to brainstorm of what they kind of like associate with being a modern teacher. And for me, it was quite surprising that the following associations, the following words came up most often in their replies. So this is kindness, friendliness, sympathy, compassion, inclusiveness, respect, flexibility, honesty, motivation, wisdom, mentoring, support. And we can clearly see that the role of a teacher transforms from that of guardian of knowledge to a guardian of values. And speaking about values, I would like to move to the final part of my intervention, where I will present several innovative teaching methods from the report Innovating Pedagogy 2021 by the Open University, United Kingdom. So this is the series of reports. They publish these reports, I think, every year. So they explore new forms of teaching, learning, and assessment for a modern education world. To produce the report, a group of academics at the Institute of Educational Technology at the Open University collaborated with researchers from Artificial Intelligence and Human Language Lab at Beijing Foreign Studies University. And together they have selected a list of 10 innovative pedagogies that have the potential to provoke major shifts in educational practice. And there were, of course, methods, technology supported, we say technology enhanced methods, like, for example, using chatbots, using enriched realities in education. But I would like to draw your attention to quite unexpected for an innovative pedagogy concepts like best learning moments and gratitude. Research shows that people learn best when they are in a mental state that makes learning easier and more enjoyable. The best learning moments are characterized by increased attention and engagement, which signals a positive mental state that can lead to enjoyable and effective learning. There is a concept of cognitive absorption. So this is kind of like a state of deep, full engagement. And this concept is very, very familiar to those of you who study psychology, sociology, philosophy, for example. This concept has been studied in relations to many human activities, like, for example, how we take a decision about like buying things, but of course also in relation to learning. And it has led to the creation of an innovative approach that is called best learning moments. It means that we intentionally can create an atmosphere of happiness, and this will reinforce the positive spectrum of emotions, and students' engagement will become much, much better, and they will learn more efficiently. We can easily remember, I think every of you can remember the feeling of excitement, the ease of learning something that surprised you in a positive way. We also know from neuroscience that emotions are integral to the neural networks responsible for learning. Joy is associated with increased level of dopamine in the brain reward system. And in turn, it brings us to increased memory, increased attention, creativity, motivation. Emotions are not something secondary to learning. And on the contrary, the latest research shows that emotions are very, very important for the success of learning. The best learning moments can be created just by telling a joke, for example, during a lecture. But when we speak about EdTech, about technologies in education, there have been, of course, technologies designed to provide this positive learner experience. Those technologies are enriched with functions that encourage this positive experience. I will be very honest with you. I was not used to take all those like filters, stickers, emojis, memes seriously. I thought it was just, like rubbish. But after reading this report, I realized that not serious things can sometimes have a much more fruitful impact on learning than serious things. And we're coming to gratitude. Unfortunately, the meaning of this word gratitude is being kind of like leveled today. When I open Instagram, every other post that I see says something about gratitude, like you need to be grateful. It becomes very hard to imagine that gratitude can be a pedagogical method. And here we do not talk about, let's say, like formally expressing gratitude to a teacher, although I think that students actually shall practice this more and more in their life. But gratitude as a pedagogical method is a reflection on the learning process, is a reflection on the role of learning, the role of the personality of the teacher, that it will play on our, let's say, well-being, the quality of our interpersonal relationship further in our professional life or in the professional life of the students. This practice of gratitude is known for increasing ability to concentrate and remain resilient in the face of challenges and stress. And of course, I think that this approach is extremely relevant in times like we are going through now, I mean, the pandemic. The positive feelings it evokes can counterbalance the emotional anxiety, cognitive stress caused by insecurities, by our vulnerabilities. And now, coming to the very, very end of my, my intervention, dear colleagues, I suggest you a little practical exercise. Just close your eyes and think what you are grateful for today, and try to remember every single moment that made you smile. I'm grateful to the interesting conversation with you, although it was more monologue than dialogue, but still I'm really grateful for your interest. And I'm grateful for the fact that there are enthusiasts who have created this fantastic platform ALT+F, and that we can come together on this platform and discuss topics that influence our common future, regardless on which country you are in at the moment. And of course, I wish all of you, dear colleagues, I will try to, yeah, so to switch on to video once again. I wish you that every moment in life for you is the best moment, best learning moment, the best life moment. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to discuss with you maybe further in the comments to this video.
Thank you so much, Ekaterina. That was amazing. Like, just to make a little bit, I'm checking the comments on YouTube if anyone has doubts. Nobody yet, but I always have. So not even like doubts, but questions. So in terms of, like, for example, you talked about the relevance of feelings in education. Do you think there's differences within like different geographies? Do you think like there's a topic which is already talked about a lot in some countries, but not at all in others?
Do you mean in regard to the best learning moments?
Yes, yes, yes.
I think that it more relates to something very positive that the person has experienced. It's not necessarily a topic or, let's say, a joke that would make everyone laugh, but sometimes when you feel, let's say, discouraged in learning, you don't feel concentrated, it might be kind of like enough just to write a message, an email to your, let's say, fellow student or to your colleague, and put a couple of smiles, you know. And so, as I said at the beginning, I kind of like used not to like this culture. I thought it was like rubbish, it's childish. But now I more and more understand the meaning of it. So especially when we talk about technology-enhanced learning, we don't have emotions. And it's cool that we can share emotions, at least in this way. And of course, when we talk about emotions, it's very nice for teachers to use elements of gamification in those platforms where they teach. Yeah, assign, for example, medals to good students or some kind of stickers for good work. This also create a good kind of like a positive learning experience and the positive emotion. Of course, we don't need to laugh all the time, no, but we need a little thing just to smile, and this already will bring us into the best let's say a best emotional state for learning.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I think it does. We are based in Portugal both, and I have so many good memories of my teachers, like kindergarten, primary school. You know, I remember those kind of medals, like a stamp, when you would be like
this kind of rewards that make us feel good about ourselves. That's
Yeah.
right.
That actually don't have a meaning, but they have because people put the meaning on it, right? And yeah, just like to end like in a personal experience, like the best professors I had, like I'm still in touch with them, you know, and also because of that personal side or like more feeling side, because people cared, you know. Once I had an accident and a teacher, a professor at university emailed me like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?"
Mhm.
And that was amazing. The experience, it make it 100 times better, actually. Just
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And especially that you are girls from such a warm culture. I think so culturally wise, this expression of emotions is easier for one, let's say, culture than another. When I see people from the south of Europe, like from Portugal, just by looking at you, you already want to kind of like, you already want to leave.
yes. but I've also been in Eastern Europe, Russia actually. So, and I've sensed that difference, but at the same time, so warm. Like, you know, there's also a different culture of learning. The classes are smaller students as well in terms of number. You know, in Portugal it's like 20, 50, depends. There it's like small number. Focus on the person and depending, like they open up so easily. It was also a good experience. So I think it's behind culture right now. It's crossing, you know, it's like you said, it's a education model now.
Thank you so much, Ekaterina, and I hope to see you again very soon. Maybe next year or next edition,
Yes.
you're here with us again. Ekaterina, actually, you were here with us last time, right? On our first edition.
Yeah, and of course, if you invite, I would be extremely happy to actively contribute further on, and I wish, of course, the forum a big success.
Thank you, and
you
thank
so
you for
much.
coming. Okay, so I think we can move to Nataliia, Kai, and Soheir, since the three of them are here. We will now have a panel on the ultimate engagement. Is AR and VR the answer? Okay, so Soheir and Kai, they come from these fields of expertise, and we have Nataliia moderating this panel between the two of them. So I will invite you to join. Nataliia is already here. Hi, Nataliia, thank you for joining. I see that Kai is here, and Soheir is also here. Kai, if you want to open your camera as well, so we can.
Hello, ladies. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
We're in different time zones, all of us, right?
No, I think Kai is in the same time zone as we are. Are you in UK?
I mean, yeah, I'm in London, and yeah.
Oh.
Normally, I should be very happy to say I'm in London, but at the moment we're hosting about 30,000 new cases every day. So nobody wants to come to London anymore. So anyway, it's like I'm still, I'm still negative, touch wood, and but otherwise good. Yes. Thank you very much for the invitation, and it's great to join this this fantastic event and also this amazing subject.
Thank you for
Dear
coming.
friends and colleagues, we are glad to welcome you today. It's a great honor for me to be with you. And discussion about technology is always exciting and challenging. We must always gauge the balance of innovation and impact. And today we are talking about AR, VR with amazing speakers. So I invite Soheir Zaki, the global learning mentor. Dear friend, the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Hi everyone, I am so honored to be here with you. I am Soheir Zaki Abdel Fattah, the Smart Learning Principal of Victoria College in Alexandria of Egypt. And I heard our great speakers, our previous speakers, when she talked about gamification and how the game-based learning and such apps help the learners to cooperate together and to engage to their learning process together and help them even online to be working together in any circumstances. So we are talking about the virtual reality and the augmented reality, and one of the famous apps that used to create the modes of virtual reality and the augmented reality is CoSpaces. So if we can share the presentation. Okay.
We were already showing the presentation, so here. So if you can see it, I will make. I can share my own screen if it's easier.
Can you see mine?
No, not yet. So we will show it. Okay.
Okay.
We have your presentation, so we'll share our own screen.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see the presentation. Okay. So just tell us when to move slides. Okay. Can you see it?
I can see it yet, so
Okay.
I'm still waiting.
You can go ahead. We can change the slides for you.
Okay. Actually, CoSpacing is one of the famous apps in education that is used for students to create their own augmented reality or virtual reality scenes. It's also used for teachers to create many stories for the students using augmented reality, virtual reality modes. It also helps the students to learn about coding. They can use merge cube mode to create the augmented reality. They can use also physics engine, and they will have a creation tools box inside the app. And also we can use class management to create our classes and add our students and co-teachers. It's very easy to create our account on CoSpaces. We can sign in by using any of our accounts. We can use Google account, we can use Microsoft account, we can use any other account. Also, we can log in with the login code. When we start to create an account, we will choose if we are student or a teacher. So for us, of course, we will choose a teacher account. And when we create our account for the first time, we will receive an email to verify our account. And when we log in, we will have a link to download the app on the mobile to be used for us or for our students. In the first time, to move from the free license to use the Pro plan, of course, we have to use the trial code. The trial code, as shown, is the COS Pro trial. This is our trial code. When we redeem this code, we will activate our trial for our account to EduPro, CoSpaces EduPro, for 30 days, and we will have about 100 seats for our co-teachers and students, of course. When we start to begin our creation, we will have different and various options to create. We will have to create on 3D environment. We will choose from empty scene, or template scenes like All About Me, COVID-19 action, a multi-diorama, a large gallery, and so on. And we can also choose the 360-degree image, and we can start by creating the add-in merge cube. In this case, we will allow to watch our scene after finishing it by using the merge cube as augmented reality mode. When we open the account of us, we will have a library. This library contains many of tools from characters. We can add animals. We can add complete house or building. We can add any of items of nature like trees, flowers, different types. Also transport, cars, boats, airplanes, and so on. We have many of items and also many of items used in building and construction. Also, we have special items like tracks that we can modify these tracks and make the characters move on these tracks. We will have a camera to screen our scene from a certain angle as we want to do it. Also, we can use the construction and modify the construction as much as we want to allow us to create different scenes. We can upload different types of file, STL, or OBJ, MP3, to add files of different kinds from 3D models or audio. After finishing our scenes, or after the students finish their scenes, they can use the headset to watch the scene in virtual reality mode, or maybe they can use the merge cube to use the merge cube and watch their creation in the augmented reality mode. Also, in class management, we can add our students and let them work individually or work in groups, and we can add our co-teachers. This all about the co-spaces. I wished to show you some of co-spaces that I made, but I think there is no much time for this. So I finished my presentation for now. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Soheir. And I have some questions. Do you think age matters in the level of involvement in AR, VR, and which groups are more involved in the process?
You know, Nataliia, I think that age doesn't matter, because each stage can use augmented reality or virtual reality. And as a teacher, I used both of them, even in KG, kindergarten students, to show them something like letters, like body parts, and so on. So in generally, augmented reality and virtual reality give really older students amazing experience in learning, but we can use it for all ages.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? Will these technologies be able to create learning environments without a teacher, where each student will himself form knowledge based on special algorithms.
We, of course, encourage our students to be self-learners, but in my opinion, nothing can replace the teacher. In the process of education, teacher is very essential. His presence in the early stages, of course, is very, very important, and he plays a main role in the education environment in the higher stages to guide the students, to facilitate their work, to correct their misunderstanding concepts, maybe. So I think, in my opinion, nothing could replace the presence of the teacher.
Yes, sure. And how do you see the future of VR in education? Will there be a metaverse that we hear so much about now?
You know, history of virtual reality and augmented reality technologies goes back to maybe 1838 when Charles Wheatstone created his stereoscope to create 3D image. Over the next years, many tools and apps had created and used, like virtual reality headset and maybe Merge Cube and many other inventions. I think in the future, VR and AR will make our current technology look like a primitive one. So it will become maybe the mainstream in the next few years.
Yes, sure. I agree with you. Thank you for your answer. And now I want to introduce Kai Liang, Director of Business Development for Mail Science, co-founder and vice-president at Smart Stone Technology. Welcome, dear Kai. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nataliia. And it was fascinating to hear the introduction of CodeSpaces as well. It's a small world because I'm actually a good friend of Eugene Bailiff, who is the founder of CodeSpaces, and the founder of DelightX. Actually, CodeSpaces is one of the products from DelightX. DelightX, in my opinion, is one of the most innovative virtual reality engines in the world. I mean, everybody knows about Unity and Unreal, but actually, DelightX did their own engine. Eugene is a very successful IT entrepreneur. So I know him, and therefore, Nataliia, you mentioned about my startup in Australia, Smart Stone. We are actually the distributor of CodeSpaces in Australia and several other markets in the world. We service CodeSpaces to more than 400 schools in Australia already, and it is a great tool to actually encourage everybody to actually do storytelling and interactive storytelling very conveniently within a kind of like a metaverse space. So you can engage multiplayer on screen and in VR headset and the augmented reality in tablet everywhere. And so it's a fantastic platform. And so if anybody have chance to check our website, SmartStone, we also invented a platform called X Spaces. I mean, how do I share the screen here, please, Nataliia? Is there any chance for me to share screen?
Yes, sure. You can share your screen.
Okay, right.
Do you see where to do it?
Okay, so I just noticed that. So let me quickly share the screen and the entire screen share. So as you can see that I just opened the website for xspaces.io. And so xspaces is one of the utilization is X Classroom. And we eventually deliver this multi-user and real-time engagement spaces for people to collaborate, to communicate online. Can you hear the music, please? and I hosted a lot of art exhibition event on X Spaces. And of course, we deliver this for the purpose of education in many schools and education institutions in Australia already. And so it's very entertaining. Obviously, in today's post-pandemic world, well, during the pandemic is still going on. And the pandemic means that a lot of us has to communicate in isolation. So X Spaces and also other metaverse technology offer people an opportunity to come together from different walks in the world and to be able to communicate. And now X Spaces, we also can provide a way to record. So it's the same as holographic recording. So when you have a classroom, imagine you're showing a 3D model of planet. And in the holographic recording, you can literally move between different locations and move behind the avatar of the teacher. And that's a very entertaining way of learning. Of course, I think it's very good for art learning and was architecture and or film setting. So all this location information is very important. And where you stand is important. So at the moment, we're talking in a kind of like Zoom-like environment. So everything happened on the 2D pan, yeah? So it's good, it's very effective, but in the future, we want to be able to put on a pair of augmented reality glasses so you can talk in holographic. It's very similar to if you watch the movie Kingsman. It's very nice. So you put on the glasses, you're going to see the kind of holographic image of all the other assassins from around the world. Literally, we talk to each other. I think that day is coming very soon. And of course, AR glasses, I'm a friend with basically all the CEO of hardware companies for AR glasses. So I think within a few months, you'll see AR glasses you can put on, and we can encapsulate it with kind of like add the geographic and location information. Essentially, you can walk through a shopping mall, a theme park, and all the other learning information we associated with specific locations of that theme park will just pop up on your glasses. So you can talk to it. And Nataliia, you can also join in this conversation purely a certain part of theme park. So we're talking about the future of extremely different learning experience. But of course, last but not least, if you can enable the screen share again, Nataliia, I just want to show a couple of slides in my presentation. So here we go. So I do a lot of speech on behalf of Mount Science, for example. Now, for Mount Science, what we've done is that we literally we took care of, we reinvented the kind of science curriculum for now at primary school for all the science-related subjects like light, for example, and we invented the entire new set of digital education content. In addition, we would add the kind of like the physical experiment content, and so we have this entire new curriculum. So we're gonna take the science education in school to the next century. So you're no longer constrained by the textbook. The textbook doesn't sing, doesn't dance, doesn't zoom you into the micro level for you to be able to see literally the atomic, subatomic world, as you can see from this little bit of video here. Now we can open the digitized education material for you to be able to zoom in to the micro world, to be able to see atom and subatomic level. And when you get this hands-on science experiment, we can show you in animation how to do it. And if you put on a pair of glasses, we can show you in each bottle what you actually have. So it's fully interactive. As you can see that we can achieve currently from our webinar already. And we deliver this in a lot of US universities because we invented this quantum simulation engine. So you can literally do a chemistry experiment within a virtual reality environment. So rather than put real chemicals together to form a flame and explosion, you can simulate it in a virtual reality environment. You can kind of like slow the time down to about a million times. You can see the microprocess in the quantum theory process, because we developed this using the quantum theory basically. And so we have to break some, yeah, because in quantum theory you don't know the precise location of matters, but we have to show you the physical location. And or we can accelerate things 1,000 times. So mouse science, we're delivering, like, for example, mouse space. So you can see kind of like space and geological movement that normally happen in 10 million years. We can show you that, simulate that within literally possibly about a minute. Yeah. So you can learn, you can experiment. So I think that, and so I'll stop sharing now. So I think these are examples that with technology we can tremendously enhance learning. And so the end result is that the teaching of science and technology become much more efficient. Yet people are no longer fearful of the difficult concept in science and technology. And I think this is a way to help our future generation to deal with artificial intelligence, deal with the disappearing job of technology. Yeah, because don't forget the fact that 100 years ago, our grandfather or great grandfather, they probably spent about 5 years in education. They learned that much about science and technology. But oh my God, today we spend 15 years average in education. We have to learn 2,000 times as much of technology concept because our life is so impacted by science and technology. And 5 years later, all this will double, but you cannot possibly spend 30 years in education, right? So we need to utilize all this technology, including the metaverse technology, to drastically improve the efficiency of learning and also to make it more entertaining and to make it safer and also to deliver this fantastic education content across a geographical border. So to be able to cope with a very possibly disconnected and very surreal future of the post-pandemic world. And that is my quick sharing. Hopefully that would work with the title of this conference, right? We're going to deliver things differently and use technology in a way to enhance our life, including education, which is a big part of it.
Yeah, thank you, dear Kai, for your amazing speech. And what do you think? Can VR AI technologies accelerate our progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals? Or maybe do you have any ideas or examples of this?
Yes, thank you very much for that question, Nataliia. I mean, Sustainable Development Goals is one of my favorite subjects. I mean, United Nations determined 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and I'm actually organizing a global education conference on SDG goals and the impact of education later on, well, basically between 1st and 3rd of October on a platform called Clubhouse. It's a voice kind of social networking platform invented by Paul Davidson. Within Sustainable Development Goals, I think the technology, including metaverse technology, can make contribution to a number of Sustainable Development Goals. And I think most of all, to actually make sure that education can reach everybody, not just for the rich people, because traditionally, you know, in every country you have really posh private schools. They are supported by the best teachers and the best teaching material. And the best teaching material, and obviously it's quite expensive to be put together. But with technology, including metaverse technology, good teacher and their teaching can reach everybody. And also the good teaching content can reach everybody. If anybody open mounscience.com website, you will see that we deliver a lot of our virtual reality and also our education, our originally innovated science video content. We deliver that free of charge to everybody. You can come to our website. Not only you go through the entire 2D video of the virtual reality simulation free of charge, but we also provide how teachers teach step by step on our website. So I think that is our responsibility to deliver the content to everybody. And I think that is one contribution to Sustainable Development Goals. And of course, SDG goals cover a lot of area. And we make a conscious support to all the area whenever we can. The support of women, for example, we work with a lot of institutions in different countries to make sure that women who traditionally are a little bit fearful or kind of turned off by science are joining in. And I personally spoke in an Australian conference of top women scientists before the pandemic in the state of Victoria. And I showcase a lot of success women made contribution to science, and also explained how other lady students, or girl students, actually made all this fantastic content using code spaces. And I think it's necessary to realize that women make at least equal or somewhat unique contribution, and also, in fact, better contribution than men in many areas of subject. So I think SDG is a really, really big subject. I think it's all come down to the right utilization of technology, and to make sure that the technology can embrace everybody, to make sure content can reach everybody. The increasing level of access is a way to actually make sure that the culture is kept, and the contribution of everybody is respected, and the future contribution of our next generation is cultivated and supported. But it is a big subject anyway. I hope my answer can somewhat make a contribution to that. But thanks for that.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And how do you feel about the capabilities of the metaverse? Will we be able to achieve it, and do we need it?
I think, first of all, you can tell that I'm a very confident and kind of an optimistic person when it's come down to technology, and I think in general our life is quality of life is much better, and the economy has improved a lot in most of the countries because of technology. And metaverse obviously is a very ambitious goal, and if you watch the movie Ready Player One, you put on this fantastic glasses, you're suddenly physically involved in a different world. Yeah. And if you watch the movie Valeria, it's a beautiful French sci-fi movie, you shop in something called big shopping mall. You put on this pair of glasses, you're in a totally different world. Otherwise it's desert. But no, if you want to get there, you are talking about physically transforming yourself to a different location. That is not just technology. It breaks, oh my God, it breaks some boundaries of physical size. You're physically in a different world. There's a question whether that is actually possible in science or not. I mean, if you ask to transform myself from this location to where you are, I might actually think about it, because maybe I will get reassembled atomic-wise in a different location, but is that still me? That's a big question, right? And so I think some of it is philosophical, but the technology presently can also get us a lot closer to the metaverse world. You can put on the virtual reality glasses. You can be in a high quality, high fidelity VR world. But if you wear kind of like the virtual reality bodysuit, if somebody touch you, the bodysuit can give you the kind of like electric sensation that you're being touched. Yeah. And you feel the heat. I mean, that's more or less there. Yeah. But obviously we know that an electric bodysuit is about $30,000, but it's still not perfect. It's only get us like 5% there. So I would say visually, we're more or less there. We will get there maybe about 6 months to 1 year. And then after that, it's a quality improvement, because if you want to see the kind of true retina display across a 180-degree range, at the moment, even the best Qualcomm processor cannot compute it. So there are lots of things need to be improved. And then in order to transport the sense of smell, the smell engine is not quite there yet. There's quite a few entrepreneur teams in the world doing that. I know personally 2 of them. But to integrate the smell engine into both the software and the hardware will take at least another 2 to 3 years. And then the touch, the bodysuit, I think it will be at least about 5 years to be in the market at affordable price to get this there. So I think metaverse will be there, but it's one of those things. It's a continuous set of improvement. But the exciting news is that in this process, job is created, a lot of talent is created. Education and the way we live needs to catch up to it. The way we work needs to catch up to it. So it's an opportunity. It is an opportunity. If we have more conversations like this, we can share the best practices. We can share the exciting development. We can get people engaged and make sure we don't fall behind. I mean, one very important element is that you do not want to be left behind. If you're left behind, then the world do move on a faster and faster pace. And so stay ahead, stay with us, and let's enjoy the ride.
Yes, thank you, dear friend. I think it was amazing and really powerful panel. I want to thank you for your participation. Really glad to see you. Thank you.
Thank you for amazing moderation, and thanks for the organizer of this great conference. I'd love to talk to you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Thank you, Kay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's our turn to thank you, the three of you, to join and for this amazing conversation. Answering your question, Kai, your talk is really like you are answering the whole goal of this summit is actually to talk about what is the role of technology in the future, not only in education, but also in corporates. In this slot, we are more focused in education, but it was a great talk, both you and Soheir. And Nataliia, thank you for coming and moderating and asking some questions to our two speakers. And now continuing on the field of technology and the field of technology in education, we have Puteri all the way from Malaysia, and she's giving a talk on a very cool subject. Her presentation is called AI versus You, Learning to Learn with Technology while Technology Learns to Learn. So let's see what is coming from this. Puteri, it's your turn now. I will make you a presenter.
Martha,
You can share your screen.
for myself to be here, especially after listening to the two speakers sharing their expertise on AI, VR, gamification, and also a lot of technological platforms for education, students and teachers to learn. So I'll be sharing screen.
I'll let you know if everything is working.
Okay, great. Start sharing my screen and I'll begin my presentation.
Okay, your screen is visible, so you can start. The stage is yours. And thank you again for coming.
I appreciate to all the audience who are still here for my session. My name is Puteri Sofia Amirnuddin. I'm based in Malaysia. I'm a senior law lecturer. I also manage postgraduate programs, and in addition to that, I'm also a chief project officer at the Center of Industrial Revolution and Innovation at Taylor's University. So I would like to pose this question. So why all of you are here today at this conference? Because we have a similar passion. We want to learn more about technologies. We want to understand deeper on how you can thrive alongside technologies, especially when Kylie just mentioned earlier, the world is moving rapidly. So how do you catch up? How do you ensure that you're not left behind? And you have heard across so many social media platforms, you probably come across a lot of learning materials and research papers with regards to artificial intelligence. We're talking about teachers as well as learners, as well as innovators are competing with artificial intelligence. We're talking about wide range of science that will simulate or replicate human intelligence, having the abilities to do critical thinking, problem solving, just like how humans can do. So how do we thrive alongside of AI, especially when we talk about the subset of AI, machine learning, which continues to learn on every second. We're talking about a gigabyte of data every second, so that the machine learning will continue to learn new things. So this is where it all begins. I've conducted study for the past 9 years. I've interviewed so many prominent speakers, and I have compiled a list of ingredients where each and every one of us, either we're educator, either if you're a student, or either we're innovator. How can we craft, design our own future? Because an author of machine learning book mentioned it does not necessarily mean when it comes to learning about technology that you need to know about technology. It's just that you need to understand the model behind the use of technology so that you can excel in whatever that you do. So these are the list of ingredients I would call so that you can thrive when it comes to learning alongside of technology. Number one, it is of paramount importance that you need to know the reason why you are doing things. you need to have a vision where you need to set the end goal at the beginning. Because otherwise, when I conducted interview without having a proper vision, you end up doing things like you're hibernating. You just do on daily basis, but you don't have a goal, what you want to achieve at the end of 1 year, or at the end of 3 years, or even at the end of 5 years. So for those who are already employed, my advice, or based on the research I've conducted, when you want to shape your own vision, try to ensure that it is aligned to the mission of the organization. So that this shows that whatever that you dream of is meets or aligned with the culture of that particular company. So it is advisable for anyone to start shaping their future is to design their own future, because based on plenty of research, books on leadership are all talking about having the vision at the onset. Just like the Kotter 8-step change model also speak about a vision. We have Active Fossil also talk about focusing on the vision. I'm pretty sure you have heard about 7 habits of highly effective people, also talks about having a vision. Hence, in order for us to start crafting or curating our own future, we need to know what we ourselves want in the next subsequent years. So for number 2, when we have an aim, or when we have a vision, we also need to be able to feel inspired. Because how do you move your idea? It's all the way through feelings. People believe you because people feel you. So same goes when it talks about inspiring by other people as well as inspire people. So when we do things, I always advise that you have this inspiration for you not only just to do and complete your task. When it comes to learning with technology, you need to have a higher goal where you need to have inspired to be exceptional. So to me, an easy way to do is that find a good role model and try to mimic their best behavior so that you'll be able to shape your own characteristic to be exceptional when it comes to achieving your vision. Because at the end of the day, either you're a lecturer or you're an educator, you have the similar aspiration. You want to inspire your students, where your students, they want to be the future leaders. So they want to inspire their followers. So it is good that you have a vision as well as inspiration. So the ingredient number 3 is that when we talk about this conference itself, there's hackathon, you need to create something, so you need to be creative. So the term itself, creative. So to some people, they already have this idea, but not everyone has an idea to execute. Because when you're starting from scratch, you will see other people start designing prototypes, then you feel, I don't know, what should I create? I have no experience in coding. I did not learn computer science. So it does not necessarily mean that in order for you to be creative, that you need to design a product. As long as you have an idea, an aspiration, you can be creative in any type that you do. Because machine, they can continuously learn. They can do problem solving based on the information that has been input by other machine or by human beings. But in terms of to be creative, to think outside the box, usually human beings would have that one-step advantage as compared to machines. So do try to be creative when you study. Try to find a new learning technique to excel in your studies instead of doing what you have done in the previous semester. Same like an educator, when you teach, so how can you adopt a new teaching pedagogy in your teaching and make it a different as compared to last semester. So there are various techniques where you can become creative. It's a matter of you doing it. Just give it a try, because I know when it comes to embracing something new, the first thing that you will feel is resistance, because you fear that it's going to fail. But based on the former COO of Ernst Young, John Ferraro mentioned that every company nowadays keep introducing and keep innovating something new. So you have to be creative in the current environment, so that even if you fail, you try again, you will thrive in the future. And tips number 4, after you have that vision, that initiative, that creativity, you need to integrate tenacity as well. Because why? Just like I explained earlier, you will encounter failures. To certain people, the moment they encounter failure, they feel that it's a setback. Some of them feel embarrassed. Some of them gave up. But it's actually part and parcel of being creative. So it's good that you learn about technology, try to integrate or test whichever technology that you're comfortable with, even though you fail when it comes to learning, or even if you fail when it comes to teaching, or even if you fail when it comes to pivoting or piloting a project. But if you have that characteristic of being a person with tenacity, you will develop brilliance. And this is not something what I've said. This is a lot of prominent leaders have experienced. And at the end of the message, they say, just do not give up. Because when you not do things, you will feel regretful, and that you're regretful, you will carry it for life. You always have this thought, what if I've done it? What if I give it a try? So that what if will constantly be in your mind. So why not you just give it a try, you fail, and you try again. Because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, even if it takes you to 1 semester, 1 year to figure out the best learning techniques, at the end of the day, you will acquire those techniques. So this is a quote that I've extracted from Forbes. It says that tenacity is the fierce determination of a combination between perseverance as well as grit. It's the difference between failure and success. So do not feel discouraged, because this is how you, someone from their comfort zone, they can break the shell and they can thrive in wherever environment that they are. So the ingredient number 5 is I include optimistic, because Ekaterina, the first speaker earlier, mentioned whatever that you do in a virtual platform, you need to smile. So I'm sharing a similar message that you need to be optimistic, because in a virtual environment, there's a lot of issues regarding mental health. People are not seeing each other. There's a lot of issues concerning loneliness. There's a lack of motivation. So if you have this negative energy, you will feel down. So why not you shift that mindset and try to feel optimistic? Because if you feel optimistic, you will attract a lot of positive energy. Give it a try, and when you attract, when you absorb a lot of positive energy, you will also showcase positive energy. So this is evident, because I have a lot of colleagues, a lot of students, they have shared. They feel times are tough. So at least when they share their problems with me, when I say be optimistic, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So it gives a sense of hope. So when we talk about learning with technology, be optimistic in whatever industry that you're doing, because it's good that you're already taking the step to give it a try, since there are also other industries embracing technology, either in medical, agriculture, teaching and learning, business. You can, whatever that you can imagine, there is some sort of integration with technology. So you need to have a balanced, adaptive mindset. Sometimes if you're overly optimistic, there will be at times you'll be questioning yourself if what you feel is right. Sometimes if you underreact, not too optimistic, so then it will also hinder you from progressing. So we need to be realistic in terms of where we can excel, and also by having this optimistic, it gives us some sense of hope that we can rise during difficult times. And number 6, when we speak about being optimistic, having that tenacity, you also need to be resilient. Resilient essentially means you need to embrace failure and keep doing things again in order for you to mold the items or whatever that you're doing to a better product, to a better idea. So, because whenever we talk about technology, we always have this impression that we cannot win. We always believe that machine learning will take over us, will replace our job. But to me, that's where you integrate the humanization element in. You just need to be resilient to embrace it. And how you can do it is that you need to have a sense of self-awareness. You need to be aware of your surrounding. You need to be aware that you are feeling sad, so that when you know that you are feeling sad, you can already strategize on how you break away from sadness, how you break away from feeling down when you encounter a stage of failure. So that's where, when it comes to building connection, it is very important for you to be inspired by other people. When you have a role model, then you can find their story which is similar to your story. So that will show that you are not alone in whatever new things that you embark on. And the last element, or the last ingredient, is you need to yearn to excel. Just like how I mentioned earlier, you need to be inspired to be exceptional. It's great if you have this continuous yearning to excel, because that's how you will know you're going to achieve your vision. Because McKinsey says in their report talking about the disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic, it will create, in fact, it has created a discontinuous shift on how organizations work. Some integrating new technology, some already doing restructuring, letting go of employees. So if you're in this type of situation, what can you do? Of course, this is the time where you reskill and upskill yourself. You attend courses that's available on online platform, area where you can learn new things. So as long as you have that yearn to excel, you will eventually achieve your vision. So we're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic has shifted on how we work, how we study, how we learn, how we operate, and it will continue to change even after the so-called pandemic ends. So my advice is to continue investing in yourself, because at the end of the day, you yourself is the product, and you can brand yourself to market together with technology, instead of everyone to subscribe to the use of machine learning or any other types of technology. So now it is a time where you do a reflection. Try to imagine again how you learn and re-strategize, how you work and re-strategize, and anything that similarly close to your vision, you try to re-strategize and make it better. So when you combine all the 7 key ingredients, what you will achieve is victory. By having a vision, by becoming inspired, by having that creativity, that tenacity, optimistic, and being resilient, together having that strong yearning to excel, trust me, victory will be in your hands. So that's how you learn alongside with technology. When you have technology, you continuously learn. That's the end of my presentation. So I hope it has been insightful to all of you, and do try to integrate the ingredients in your daily life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was a great talk. Thank you so much for your insights. And we actually have a comment on YouTube. Someone asked, a question. Maria will read it. We have it
Yes.
on a different computer.
It's also for this afternoon, more to the corporate side of the things, but I think you also can answer this since it's regarding technology. So Milan said, economy has improved thanks to technology, but what about environment and human happiness? So I think you can answer more regarding the human happiness. What do you think? Yes.
Yes, because in October there will be a mental health day. So I'm conducting a research as well with regards to mental health among students as well as mental health among the educator. Because believe it or not, happiness is actually very important because it is integrated in what we do on a daily basis. So if we don't achieve that, the level of the index of that happiness, it will affect on how we think. So it will diminish the elements of creativity. So my suggestion is you try to navigate in terms of how you work or how you study or how you approach things, because at the end of the day, it's you that matters. So try to find an organization that has the culture to ensure that employees need to have a proper mental health so that work can run smoothly at any organization as well. So I think this will be a hot topic in October.
Yeah. So they are invited for October as well to check their activities. But yeah, as you said, I think this is a really urgent topic as well because a lot of technology, but we can't disregard the human side of it and how it impacts our quality of life and also our happiness. So thank you so much. This was really amazing. I know we say all the time.
Yeah, but really.
It's meant it. Thanks for your time here and your presence, and we hope to see you in the afternoon as well, at least to attempt to share the ideas as well.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Bye-bye. All right. So now Maria has some news for you, for mostly the participants of the hackathon.
So I'll just move, Marta.
I will make Maria a presenter.
I'll just move to the other side. If you can still hear me. So, okay, let me share my screen.
You can open your camera.
Yes, as well. So, I know I already did a small introduction about this, but for those who don't know, we run a hackathon from the 1st of September to the 10th. And on the 11th and 12th, we had the pitches, the sessions. We had a lot of people from different places. Actually, we counted, it was more than 13 different nationalities. Also united with different topics in their ideas. So we had specifically for HR, we had for health side of it. We also had for social impact. So there's a lot of interesting projects that you can check, and I invite you to check on Taikai, okay, on the ALT+F hackathon page. But right now, it's time to announce the winners. So we will announce the winners of the stream 1 and 6 because they're the ones more related to what we are talking about now, which is education. So the first one is involvement. It was regarding to how we involved students after graduation, okay, in the marketplace, in the work sphere. And the 6 was about education itself, like how education, how we can create things in this sphere that will afterwards impact the work life as well. So I'm just talking so I can make people enter to be excited as well and expecting. So the first one is team dynamics. On the involvement category, team dynamics is a team building application that aims to match teams based on various analytical metrics obtained from the interaction between employees in the organization. So just a quick explanation, basically they developed an app in which you can enter, for example, we just got out of college, okay, we are in a company and they're making like a big recruitment session, but they also want to evaluate how people interact with each other, how they could be a good team or not. So this is an app where you get in and you have like multiple breakout rooms, different topics as well. And you make this engagement, you rate the other person, okay, on those like on that short time that they give. It's really dynamic, as the application says, and it's also a good thing for both for people who can kind of choose who they want to work with, but also to the productivity levels of companies. So I invite you to check on Taikai, the project. Okay, they have a really cool demo. And now the sixth stream. Okay, so the innovation. The winners are ONG Corporation. So they are a Portuguese-based team, and they created and ideated a platform that allows cooperation among NGOs present in the field in order to meet all the population's needs through a more sustainable and coordinated allocation of resources. So here they have a video. I can play it, okay, sorry, because of the presentation mode. I invite you to go to YouTube after this and check, okay? So basically what they created is a platform where NGOs, ONG, so you can say it's a Portuguese word, but NGOs can cooperate. So they can exchange ideas, information about what's happening live, okay, in cases, more sensitive cases. They can also share materials and resources. So this is really related to education, but also social impact. And they won this category. And stay tuned for this afternoon's announcements as well. We still have other 4 categories to announce. Yes, other 4 categories to announce. So stay tuned.
5 actually, because we have imagination.
Yes.
An open category.
So stay tuned. Okay, and thank you so much for being present on this morning for most of you, I think. Hope to see you there. Oh, and it will be in a different link, okay, in a different stream.
So in 2 hours and a half, we are going to start a slot of corporate, and then at 5 p.m. we start ecosystems. And these 3 streams are going to be in 3 different links. So just, it's the same YouTube account. So just come here again in 2 hours and a half, and we'll be live again for the middle part of the day.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.